Welcome to episode 4 of the Diamond R Garage. We'll pick up where we left off in the mobile system design series. Today we're going to answer the question, do I need subwoofers? Well, the short answer is yes. In our last episode, we helped you select the locations for your tweeters and mid-range speakers. We recommend adding a subwoofer to your system to reproduce the lower frequencies, specifically 20 to 200 hertz, that a traditional two-way speaker system can't reproduce on their own. Now, these low frequencies come from instruments such as a kick drum and bass guitars. Now, there are a couple things to consider when selecting a subwoofer. The first is that most subwoofers require an enclosure and amplifier. In this episode, we'll cover subwoofer systems and follow up with amplifiers in a future episode. There are a couple different types of subwoofer systems available. The first type of system is an individual subwoofer installed in an empty prefabricated enclosure. However, it's not as simple as putting a sub in an enclosure that has the right hole size. You'll need to do some calculations to make sure that the woofer parameters properly match the enclosure so they work together. Now, to make this process easier, some manufacturers pre-match their subwoofers with an enclosure and sell them as a loaded enclosure. This takes the guesswork out of matching the enclosure size to the sub. You can also go one step further and get a loaded, powered enclosure. This combines everything you need in an all-in-one configuration by adding a built-in amplifier. Finally, there are vehicle-specific and custom enclosures that utilize spaces in the vehicle that might require customized shapes and materials, but they still meet the size requirements for the subwoofer. Now that we covered most subwoofer systems, let's talk about the locations you can fit a subwoofer. Remember, subwoofers are gonna take up some space in the vehicle. You'll need to ask yourself, how much cargo space are you willing to give up for bass? If you're building an audio system in a small compact car, you're already gonna be very limited on space. So, a small and thin under-seat option or behind the seat option is your preferred choice. Most trucks are going to be the same as a compact car, even if they have extended or crew cabs. Sedans add another installation option by allowing fitment in the trunk area. Now, SUVs are like hatchbacks, but with very large cargo areas. Now, the biggest question is how much space do you need for a subwoofer system? To get an accurate size, you can use our box wizard in conjunction with the recommended box volume for your subwoofer. This info is listed under any of our subwoofer specifications. It's broken down by vented box volume and or sealed box volume. Now that we covered how much space you'll need to give up, let's talk about the different types of enclosure designs that are available. All three of these designs are available in single and dual subwoofer configurations. Now generally, the more subwoofers you have, the louder the output, but it requires more space. A sealed enclosure is exactly what it sounds like. A box that is completely sealed with the subwoofer mounted on the front of the box. A sealed enclosure provides tighter, more accurate bass sound. Now, audiophiles call this a flat response. A vented enclosure is a box that has a specific port or hole cut into it, typically mounted onto the front or the top of the box. Vented enclosures are larger than sealed boxes and have more boomy bass, which means it's louder yet not as tight due to echoes in the chamber. A bandpass enclosure is where the subwoofer lies entirely within the box. The subwoofer does not play directly to the listening area. Instead, it plays into a chamber and all the sound is produced through a port or multiple ports. They are more efficient but have a narrow response compared to a standard vented box. They're louder than sealed and vented enclosures, but only within a certain bass range. Now, look at your subwoofer specifications to make sure it will work in one of these enclosures. Matching the subwoofer to the enclosure is imperative because it can drastically alter the sound quality. So, to summarize, this video should help you determine if you need subwoofers as well as determine how much space is needed for subwoofers. Check out our website at rockfordfosgate.com for available subwoofer models and more information on system design. If you have additional questions, feel free to talk with your authorized dealer. They're always happy to help you find the best solution for your system. Stay tuned for more videos as we guide you through mobile system design. Hit the like button and subscribe to see more videos like this one, and we'll see you in the next video.